What do you see? What do you hear? They say that every morning on the radio. Come on, let's go. Rex, we're making history out there. Once in a lifetime weather. Fortunately, it's not in our yard, so let's go. Let's go. Yep, thanks. Steve. All right, they're in position. I don't know, Steve looks like he's kind of hiding, but T-Rex, no doubt, as soon as I reach for this handle, he's going to jump up and jump up and jump up and run out enthusiastically, as he does every single day. And Steve, not so much enthusiastic, but at least he's out the door. Close the door. We don't live in a barn, as Dad used to say. Day 2 of a high barometer nor'easter here in southeastern New England. A couple of spritzes of rain yesterday, but at least we're not making history here. And when I say making history, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not. How about we start with the fun? Yesterday in Reykjavik, Iceland, it snowed, 27 centimeters, which is just over 10 inches. Apparently, that is enough for once in a lifetime October snowfall, just over 10 inches. And the sun came out this morning, and that didn't look like a plowed way there, but someone walking along, and there goes a bus. I don't think that was a school bus, but so Reykjavik, Iceland, and this is part of that whole weather pattern I've been talking about with these fronts stalled from the southeastern United States to northwestern Europe, and just one after another storm crossing the Atlantic Ocean. You throw in a Greenland block, that makes that exciting. More on what's happening here on our end of the front in a few minutes. And then I hope I never have to experience this in my lifetime weather. Yesterday in Jamaica, Melissa made landfall as a Category 5 with winds over 180 miles an hour, according to the hurricane hunters, which had a very difficult day. The plane went up and down 700 feet in less than 60 seconds. Yikes. And while they're doing that, they're collecting invaluable data. And a drop sound went out of the tube into the eye wall and measured winds of 252 miles an hour. Close to a world record, although I don't think they count drop sounds as a world record. And the central pressure down to 892 millibars, the third strongest hurricane ever in our lifetime, recorded in the Atlantic Ocean behind Wilma and the Labor Day storm. I can't remember all of that. I can't remember all the stats. I try and put them into my head. And we still don't know what's going on. We haven't heard from Josh Morgerman. Last we heard, he said it sounded like bombs going off, and it hurt his ears when the storm came over St. Elizabeth Parish. The only video we've seen is of the 300-year-old church near the Black River that did not withstand the hurricane, and we don't have much data. I mean, there is a Weather Underground station at Kingston, Jamaica, that said 37 plus inches of rain yesterday, and the wind gusted 60 to 65 miles an hour. So what is wind? Air moving from high to low pressure. Let's look at the map here in New England, or the Northwest Atlantic Ocean. And what we have is a 1034 millibar high pressure system over Quebec. It's our old cold high, which has been locked in place because of the Greenland block. And the storm well southeast of Nantucket is a mere 999 millibars. So over close to 1,000 miles, we have about a 35 millibar pressure gradient. And the tighter the gradient, the stronger the wind. Now just imagine your central pressure as the storm came ashore yesterday of 892 millibars, and the surrounding environment is more like 1,000 millibars. So now you're looking at 108 millibar pressure gradient in less than 60 miles. So yes, very similar to an EF4 or EF5 tornado is what hit Jamaica yesterday. And now it's over Cuba, and it's still a major hurricane, but you don't really see the eye anymore, but there is an eye in there under the overcast. And that storm is going over the Bahamas, and it's going to remain a major hurricane as it goes over the waters north of the Bahamas, and then is forecast to maybe move just north of Bermuda. It depends which forecast you look at. But the cone of uncertainty now stretches way out across the Atlantic Ocean on the same exact track that we've been talking about all summer and now into autumn, with the front stalled from the Bahamas to Norway, and perhaps Iceland, as this snow melts, gets the remnant of what would be then post-tropical cyclone Melissa in the northern Atlantic. So that's the historic weather. What else is going on historic-wise? In New England, here's the satellite image for us. There's the front that's stalled that Melissa's going to become attached to, and there's a storm out there that missed us yesterday, but it's out there causing this wind. And now the next one is just coming across Tennessee. If we go to the radar now, pretty impressive swirl centered near Memphis, Tennessee. Now, this wasn't part of the plan. That storm came off the Pacific Ocean 3 days ago, and we thought it was going to splinter, but instead it held together and moved toward the southeast. And so instead of a storm going up and over or east of New England with a cold nor'easter, the forecast has been evolving. Now, this is going to be an inside runner. Still going to be cold and windy, but it ultimately is going to track more up the Hudson River Valley with a wave coming across New England. And it's going to bring us more heavy wind and rain, but nothing disastrous. Should we go with the NAM QPF quantitative precipitation forecast? Who's going to get the rain and wind? Today, cold and windy, and northern New England, by the way, this morning started off in the upper 20s. I don't have time to rewind there. But here comes the rain up to our west tomorrow midday. Some spots of little light rain in southern and eastern New England today and tomorrow. But then here comes the heavy rain really tomorrow night. And torrents of rain moving very quickly from south to north, maybe an embedded thunderstorm. And we're going to transition from temperatures and dew points near 50 to temperatures and dew points near 60 briefly on Halloween morning. Now, this goes out to Friday at 2 p.m., and most of the rain is done in New England at that point. Maybe it's still raining in eastern and northern Maine. So trick-or-treaters are probably going to turn dry. But wind is another story. And as for the rainfall, you see the purples on there. That's 1 to 2 inches. And you see a distinct shadowing effect in the northeast kingdom of Vermont to the northwest side of the White Mountains. And I think there is a tropical input, a little bit of shedding off of Melissa. And that's why Cape Cod, as we stop the map at 2 p.m. and put the cursor over Nantucket. Are you watching? Martin and Bruce, that's a 3.1 for Nantucket. If this is right, once again, like we've been talking about all summer, Cape Cod may end up with the most rain. Cape Cod and the islands. There'll be some spots also on the upslope that get that much too. All right, look at this. I didn't put his anchor on, and there is Steve over in the neighbor's yard. Time out. Excuse me. Can we go back? Steve, come on, this way. That's more like it. Come on. All right. It was meant to be, Steve, because we're out of the wind a little bit here, and I've anchored you to the post on Roger Kent's old composting bin. This has turned into TK's just depository underneath his pussy willow tree that he started from a stick more than 6 years ago. And we're just going to sit here now, and I'm not moving because the wind isn't too bad. I might come down into this area a little bit more and sit down. Yeah, why don't I sit down? And we did the QPF. Not going to do the wind right now. There's so much going on. I want to get this done. And you know that I'm suffering as far as memory goes and IT issues go. And thank you, Sterling, for suggesting I get a lightning stick instead of that very slow lassie orange cube. More on that in a few minutes. Let's go to the Euro. Let's get this forecast done. What's going on? So dynamic, so much stuff going on. And you have a broad trough deepening now in the middle of the nation. There's the low off to our southwest. And we have a ridge pumping between the storm that's going to the mid-Atlantic states and Hurricane Melissa. But there is going to be a conduit of moisture coming off of Melissa, combined with the old front that stalled out there and this new system that came in off the Pacific 3 days ago, coming up into the Hudson River Valley tomorrow night, and it's deepening below 990 millibars if you believe the Euro, but we know that overdoes the central pressure on these things. And then we take it out through tomorrow night, torrential downpours, tropical downpours, a half inch or an inch of rain in less than, say, 3 hours, but it's going to be more transient, and it's happening at night. So if we stop it at 5 a.m. on Friday, as we've been doing, it's still looking like a sub 990 low, but it keeps kind of moving around more towards the Connecticut River today, where yesterday it was closer to Boston. Either way, we're going to have a southerly flow at most levels of the atmosphere in eastern New England, and any snow is going to be way out there in Ontario and perhaps western New York and Quebec, well north and west of the center. As you know, the snow is always on the northwest side of these things. And then if you look south to that conduit of moisture down to now, the Euro has the hurricane probably still tropical and close to major, maybe a category 2 on 964 millibars, and still looking like it's west of Bermuda. That's 5 a.m. now on Halloween. And there are not too many isobars over New England. So after strong winds of 20 to 40 from the east today and then southeast tomorrow night, we're going to have a little lull, almost an eye-like feature as this low goes over us. And then the wind is really going to crank up. So now let's put it back into motion, move really slowly. The primary low going right up across the St. Lawrence River Valley, and look at the isobars coming together. High pressure building to our west. The storm center is deepening. The central pressure is going down through at least 990 into the 980s. I think the Euro is overdone calling it into the 970s, but that is a lot of wind. And there's the upslope snow and rain. Its freezing level is going to be pretty high in this, probably above 4,000 feet, but we are all going to experience wind gusts of 40 miles an hour or so or greater, hills and coastal areas on trick-or-treat time through Saturday morning, then Saturday afternoon. The wind is gradually letting up, and now we can speed it up a little bit more. On Sunday, it looks like a pretty nice day. Lighter wind from the west and southwest. Temperatures are going to recover from the 40s and 50s on Saturday to 50s and maybe 60 degrees. No, we're not going to hit 60 on Sunday. We're in cold weather now. And then we have a ridge trying to build here. When that high goes to our south, we may actually warm up a little bit on Monday and Tuesday with another upper level low cutting off across the southeastern United States with cold rain and almost a 540 line down there in northern Alabama. Come on. Oh my goodness, that's going to be wrong, I think. I said that a month ago and it turned out to be right. And so that keeps any additional storminess well off to our south or north at this point. More storms coming in off the Pacific Ocean, and you have a very fast, fairly flat flow across southern Canada and the northern United States. Blue lines do not indicate precipitation. I know a lot of people are asking. Indicates temperature. Those are thickness lines, and the colder it is, the less thick the atmosphere is because of density. So the 540 line is a low enough thickness for snow, and that's to our north until about next Wednesday or Thursday. Now the 540 is kind of sliding in here with or without precipitation. Another Thursday front could come without precipitation as you have a little action in the northwest. That system in the southeast seems to be decaying. And now this goes out to Friday, November 8th. I can't remember what Friday's day is, something like that. And you're pretty quiet coast to coast if this is right. You got some high pressure over the east coast with a fairly gentle west-southwest wind and seasonable or even mild air in the northeast, a little colder in the northwestern United States, and a very fast and probably unstable flow where there's a lot of room for change, but that would indicate no major storms next week, so that would indicate no additional snowfall for us or rainfall next week. But I forgot to go to Mount Washington, so that's the end of the weather forecast. Let's look at these white caps, and let's look at another white cap from the summit of Wildcat at 4,000 feet. Looking over at the summit of Mount Washington this morning at 6288, it is white capped and so pretty and so clear. And the snowfall for the month now, most of it this week, is at just shy of 1 foot of snow. And the average for October is 19 inches. So we may add another half inch right before midnight on Halloween before the clock turns November. Oh yes, and then 2 hours later the clocks roll back. Well, that'll be better for me in the morning for shooting these out the doors while it's light before 7, but it's going to be getting dark before 5. That's not going to be very fun. All right, so that's it. I'm trying to get this done. Yesterday, I had a tough time with my computer issues, but I had some downtime, traveling with Jenny to the doctor in Weymouth, and then going over to Union Point with some, speaking of jets, a jet plane that they have on display over there at Union Point. We'll talk about that, and I'll show you a lot of pretty foliage driving around from Weymouth to Halifax, back to Weymouth, and watching the sun go down here. And it's one of those sunsets where it kept getting better, and I thought I was done shooting, and we get some pretty fun poses from Steve as I was trying to put the camera right in his face, kind of like this and that, as the sun was going down. And ultimately, I don't know how it's going to end, but there will be music, and there will be a beautiful, chilly sunset on the northern edge of our high barometer nor'easter. Here is yesterday's weather today, and more. And more on this Tuesday. Excavators coming and going. They have a lot of excavators. And of course, the huge Tonka truck 725C and Halloween decorations at 8:30 in the morning. Andrew, Sophie, trying to find a quiet spot with a good reception, and I'm checking out Union Point in Weymouth. I've heard a lot about it. It's been on the table for development now for 25, 30 years. The old Weymouth Naval Station, I believe. It's pretty quiet. Yeah, a lot of this going on.
In a quarter mile, turn left into the parking lot.
Massive Union Point Sports Complex. It's huge. How much action happens here? I must see 25 soccer nets or lacrosse nets. Yeah. I used to be an athletic supporter. Now I'm just looking for a good signal. Someday this could be something. Wow. Most of New England's having a pretty nice day. I'm in a rental car again. I don't know how to open the window. There it is. Check it out. Our dog's allowed here. T-Rex, come on, let's go over here. I don't have a T-Rex with me, but if I had Steve with me, he'd love chasing these leaves. Blowing leaves. And this ominous Halloween sky. And the latest rental. Yep, we're between vehicles trying to decide. I doubt this is going to be the one. But there's great signal here. If you need a cell phone signal and a good connection for your 5G Wi-Fi, well, cell tower reception, it's a 5 out of 5 right here, right now. So it's trying to work on those gigabyte blues a little bit. So I'm helping out my sister on a mission, and I get some time to kill, and I started downloading or trying to transfer my data 12 hours ago, and that little spinning ball has been stuck there forever. Just about 11:30, and I've been on the phone with Apple support for the last hour, and they said, well, when you have 288 gigabytes of movie, it takes more than a day to back it up. And I've just learned that now that Melissa's down to 896 millibars, wind greater than 180 miles an hour. Just couldn't even imagine it. So sad, so scary. I would be remiss not to stop and look at these beautiful trees. Oh yeah, come south for foliage. Gorgeous. And learn a little bit about the history of this. I think there still might be a functioning weather radar here. CDR, Jack Shea. This is the Shea.
Proceed to the route.
Oh, come on. Siri, come on, leave me alone. History of NAS South Weymouth. Naval Air Station South Weymouth was a U.S. Navy installation from 1942 to 1997. Established as a blimp base during the Second World War. Later, during the post-war era, NAS South Weymouth hosted a changing variety of regular Navy, Navy Reserve, and Marine Corps Reserve units. 2 blimp hangars. June 1952, U.S. Navy contracted with Douglas Aircraft Company to build prototype XA-4D1 Skyhawk attack aircraft. Wow. Wouldn't want to see this coming down at me. Whew. All right. Back to the mission at hand. Levi B. Gaylord, Sergeant USA, Civil War, Cohasset. Amen. The mission at hand, by the way, coming to Weymouth here. Trying to find a spot to drop off and pick up family at South Shore Hospital. It's really a stressful thing. There's no parking around here. Well, there's parking, but it's all full. Gotta get here pretty early. Pretty scary. Wow. Gotta hand it to you. Never seen a chrysanthemum like that. And now we're back. Halifax. Looks like it's gonna snow. Is it supposed to snow this afternoon? That is certainly a snow sky. But we want to check the garden. Did you get some of that rubber? Oh, wow. I went to a place in northern New Hampshire a couple weeks ago, and they had the rubber mulch. And it never decays. Pretty. I don't think that's going to decay either. We've got a new forsythia. I have never met this. Hello, new forsythia. And the Montauk. Got some TK-DNA Montauk. Boy, did it come out nice. Oh, and more and more and more. And also just gone by, is this Dahlia? Beautiful. And what's this handsome red thing here?
That's dogwood.
Dogwood. And more Montauks and roses. Wow. Halloween roses don't get much better than this. My sister's cistern. It's pretty full. No drought here, eh? Any rabbits? Wow. This butterfly bush, which survived that winter on Cape Cod where they said none of the butterfly bushes survived. Not only survived, now thrived, transplanted. We've got a holly, berry holly. I can't remember whether it's the boy or the girl that has the berries. Forget that one. They didn't teach me that in high school. Risk. Somebody likes birds. Let's see you get over that one, squirrel.
He does.
He does. And lots more pretty colors back here. Hello. Dainty one. Oh well, I guess we're blessed because we are not getting a Category 5 hurricane.
I have lavender.
Lavender. The flower of vitality. It is vital and beautiful and colorful. And we've got the burning euonymus. And pretty red oak. Peak foliage in Halifax. Thanks for sharing. Breaking news, we got a little precipitation here in Plymouth County, 2:30 p.m. It is brisk outside. Where's the thermometer in this crowd? 49 degrees. Ocean. There's a job with a view. Huh. Those pole climbers have been up there since I went by here about 9 o'clock in the morning. Can you see the Atlantic Ocean from up there? Pretty chilly. Oh boy, the school buses are out. Windshield wipers in Norwell. Clearing line just north of Boston. Should be an interesting sunset, huh? I'll let the cat come out. Steve, you want to come out and say hello to Coco? Coco's here. What do you think, Steve? Steve walks. Hey, Coco. Hey, Barry. Thanks for fixing my surfboard. You're the best. Haven't seen you in a while. Did you have a good summer surfing?
Yes, it was.
We had a lot of storms go by way out in the ocean. Yeah, so when the wind goes offshore, unfortunately when it goes offshore, it's really going to go offshore on Friday afternoon, Halloween. It's going to come in from the west at it's going to be like 10, 20, 30, 40. So,
It's a good day to surf, though.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be cleaning up by then.
Halloween morning.
Yeah, we'll see what
Yes,
happens.
there on a skateboard. with
No, a
carrying-
shark.
A shark. A shark, of course, a
On a
dolphin.
skateboard carrying a surfboard.
Yeah, that's right. You're a long boarder and a short boarder, whether it's on the
Yeah.
on the street or on the water.
Good. Stay. Stay. You're good.
Come on over, Steve. Say hello. All right, we'll see you. Incredibly long day. I haven't even published yet. Still editing past 5 p.m. and going back through the data, Corey Pesatoro, CPez, the accordionist, called me and said it was down to 892. Now what's that make it? One of the fourth strongest hurricanes in modern history in the North Atlantic, now exiting the north coast of Jamaica. And it had sustained winds of 185. So I'm sure this is not breaking news to any of you. You've been watching it. And I was just wondering, Steve, do you think we're going to be able to see the sun over there before it goes underneath the cloud? To the wind. Can you hear me now? So close. Steve, we were so close to seeing the sun come out there. You can never look at the camera, can you? Come on. Look at the camera, will you? He just cannot look at the camera. Oh, Steve. Look at this. You can just barely see the sunset. Oh, it's reflecting off the buildings in Boston. So close. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Right over the Blue Hills Reservation. If it would stop, we would stop. But it just keeps getting better and better right this second. So the sun is under the cloud, illuminating the bottom